Sawadee Kap, I'm JP Mestanza. Welcome to Phuket Extra, brought to you by pvcphuket.com. Details have now been revealed about a case of a Dutchman who was found infected while in quarantine here in Phuket and arrived on November 1st or 2nd, and officials say he contracted the virus in his home country. The 38-year-old man had arrived on a private jet in Phuket with his wife and child and was in quarantine at a state-approved hotel, found infected on the 5th day of quarantine, and is now receiving treatment at a private hospital in Phuket. Officials say he contracted COVID-19 in the Netherlands. The wife and child tested negative and remain in quarantine. The air crew on the plane were quarantined for 3 days, and they also tested negative. They've already flown out of the country. Officials have finally revealed details on this case after announcing the infection, but providing scant information over the past weekend. Meanwhile, officials say that 12 foreign ambassadors will arrive in Phuket by invitation of the Phuket Tourism Association from November 14th to the 16th, all to promote Phuket tourism. For more, visit thephuketnews.com. Could the army residence in which Prime Minister Prayut lives be what leads to him being removed as premier? A decision on his continuing to live in an army house is looming early next month in the Constitutional Court. December 2nd is the scheduled ruling by the Constitutional Court on whether the premier has a conflict of interest in staying in an army house after retiring from the military following the coup back in 2014, which he led. He's lived with his family in that house at the 1st Infantry Regiment, where the state bears the cost of all public utility bills, but because he retired and is no longer part of the army, that's what prompted the Pheu Thai party from the opposition to ask the Constitutional Court on the legality of Prayut still living there. Reports say that if the Constitutional Court rules in favor of the Pheu Thai petition, Prime Minister Prayut may be forced to step down. The army, meanwhile, is arguing that the status of the residence was changed in 2012 from army welfare residence to a guest house, and said safety was a primary reason for him still needing to live there. Anti-government protesters have been calling on the premier to resign during months of ongoing protests as part of their 3 demands. Again, the ruling is scheduled for December 2nd. Phuket's Outball Pier was the site of Thailand's very first electric-powered ferry, where an official launch took place yesterday. And once it's up and running, a whole fleet of e-ferries will provide service to 10 islands in Phang Nga Bay for tourists. The launch took place at Outball Pier on the island's east coast yesterday, with former Phuket Marine Office Director, now Regional Marine Co-Director Wiwat Chitrit Wong, present, along with Santi Pawai of the Tourism Ministry. The first e-ferry, named Nop Mali, was presented with much fanfare. It's about 20 meters long and registered to carry 90 people on board, with seating for 74 passengers. According to Outball Smart Pier Office, the e-ferries will sooner or later operate 10 routes to islands in Phang Nga Bay, including to Naka Island, James Bond Island, and Phi Phi Island, although the office had yet to confirm whether the Nop Mali is actually in service. Powered by a 625 kilowatt ion battery, the aluminum hull e-ferries can travel at speeds of about 15 knots, built to serve over 30 years, and quote, are agile and still stable on water waves. And it's part of the Marine Department's push to develop sustainable green tourism, according to a release. For more, visit thephuketnews.com. A female kindergarten teacher here in Wichit in Phuket is now denying that she kicked a 5-year-old boy in the face during her class last week after charges were filed against her. Boy's grandmother filed the charges last week. She brought the boy to the police station with stitches over his right eye and suffered blurred vision from the force of the blow to his head. The unnamed teacher has been transferred to an administrative position while the incident is still being investigated by Wichit police. The school in Notabri province that has made headlines over the CCTV footage showing one of their teachers abusing some kindergarten students, well, the management of the Sarasas Widayat Ratchapruk school is refusing to negotiate compensation for kids allegedly physically abused by teachers and other staff. Last week, the court sentenced Ornuma Krujum Brotbrong, the school's prime kindergarten abuser, to 195 days in jail while cases against other teachers move forward. So far, several parents at the school have filed a class action civil suit demanding at least 130 million baht in damages. But the school administrators have declined to join pre-trial negotiations, noting that the school will go to court. And that's it for Phuket Extra today, brought to you by PVCPhuket.com. For safe, secure, and soundproof windows, visit PVCPhuket.com. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, stay classy, Phuket. The Lagoon Saloon Phuket, the LSP, is Phuket Boat Lagoon's newest nighttime venue catering for all private parties. Get in touch via Facebook to discuss.
คุณมองเห็นอะไรไหมครับถ้ามองไม่เห็นเดี๋ยวเราจะย้อนภาพให้ดูทีละมุมถ้ามองจากรถที่อยู่ด้านหน้าคุณจะเห็นชายขี่มอเตอร์ไซค์ตามมาด้วยความเร็วปกติถ้ามองจากคนที่นั่งอยู่ข้างทางคุณจะเห็นชายขี่มอเตอร์ไซค์ผ่านไปด้วยความเร็วปกติแต่ถ้ามองจากคนที่ขับรถตามหลังมอเตอร์ไซค์คันนี้มันติดไม่มีไฟท้ายก็เหมือนไม่มีคุณอยู่บนถนนตรวจสอบไฟท้ายให้ใช้งานได้อยู่เสมอ